Welcome to Daily Meditation with Sangha Live.
So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good middle of the night, and a warm welcome to each and every one of you. So, we have the third session this Wednesday morning here in Europe, and in the hour-long period falls into the three areas, namely the guided meditation, the talk, and any questions or sharing which you may have. I'm beginning the session today. George has a technical issue with his camera, so I'm starting the session with you. Sometimes for those of us who are not technically inclined in any way whatsoever, there's a certain kind of weird kind of comfort that in the world of change and impermanence and technical issues, it includes those as well who have a lot of experience in these areas, but also can't guard against the obstructions that take place in the technicalities. But all being well, George will be back with us, and as he does when introducing the session to us each day, gives us a reminder of the value and the importance for all the Sangha, in fact, for the donations, Pali word dana, that come in. Though we state it and repeat it briefly each morning with you, the importance of it is that your support in a very real way ensures the continuity of the platform, of the availability to anybody whatsoever with a situation which has no relevance in terms of a registration fee. So the financial circumstances doesn't play a part, and therefore it is the trust and reliance in your kindness, in your generosity, and you are making it possible through your gift for the continuity of Sangha Live, gives real support to the ongoing expenses in the daily life of the range of teachers, and I think it's a very worthwhile endeavor, obviously. And just on that, briefly, I know as a servant of the Dharma and people who not connected with the Sangha in any way will ask me in one of the immediate curiosities, oh, how much are you charging for an hour session with you on the Zoom or whatever it might, or on the retreat or whatever? And when I say, no, we're not working like that. It's not a payment for services model. It's on a donation model. And people's interest and curiosity really arises quite quickly. Wow, on donation. Wow, that's interesting. And there's immediate recognition of a different kind of way of service. Right, so let's have the minute or two of quietness together, and then our session will get underway. So firstly, a couple of minutes of reflection from yesterday, and then we'll explore with the session today. So in the meeting with you yesterday, I gave reference to the Sangha, and in the meaning of the word Sangha, it's a general concept. In the wider picture, it applies to all kind of communications with the other, and reference was made to the value of that. And therefore, when you have the opportunity to meet with another, Zoom, emails, text, and especially voice, person to person, person to group, to really see the opportunity of the group, that's Pali word for this is Sangha, the opportunity is there, whether it's with one person or more, for some communication which has some questioning, curiosity, interest, and perhaps the opportunity to take things a little deeper than usual. And you might find, to your surprise, that there is an interest in looking outside of the box, shall we say. So every communication really does provide that opportunity there. And so in the threefold process of this, and especially with important communications, there is some preparation. What is the communication going to be about? Secondly, which goes with that, the clarity of purpose and intention. Very important one. That's the psychological component in a way which pretty well everything else gathers around. What is the intention? And then there is the actual contact with the other or others. And important in that is not only the content of what is said, because the content is not separate from the feeling tone that goes along with it. And just to take an example with this, that sometimes I, like yourselves, receive an email or a text and something important is stated. And if we read it slowly and mindfully there, not only is the content of value, but we can perhaps get a sense of the feeling tone, whatever that feeling tone might be, that is going with the content, to help get a bigger sense of what that content is about. And then thirdly, there is the reflection. So I'm just putting my hand down to a sheet of paper here. So you can see here, maybe not, the sheet of paper. And the sheet of paper carries Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday on it, and what the themes actually are. And today it's about change. So first, let's have a guided meditation there, reflection, guided, and from there we'll go to the talk. The usual invitation to sit with a tall, upright posture helps to reduce stress, by the way, helps the energies to flow more freely, and worthwhile remembering every time you put your good backside on a seat anywhere. So we are sitting. And we bring awareness and mindfulness to the experience of this sitting. These teachings give support to the significance of experience. Right now, it's the experience of sitting. We can discover our clarity, pardon me, insights, understanding through a variety of ways, and one significant one is the raw, bare experience. In this bare experience, at subtle and sometimes not so subtle, changes are going on. The changes are due to the consciousness being mindful, and the changes are due to what we are mindful of. So we are developing a practice of seeing change, perhaps change in the sensations, change in the light touching the eyes, changes in the quality of presence, of attention. Changes in interest, in energy. So our being deeply is deeply familiar with the subtle processes of change taking place, even as we sit rather still and rather silently. This understanding, this being with change, when we are faced with challenging situations, from the being will come, this too will change. Changes are still going on in the challenges. There may be subtle changes in the thought, in the pain, in the despair. And there can be significant ones. So we develop our meditations on mindfulness of change as a ground, as a preparation for the times when we really need to be very clear about it. Whatever the event, whatever the circumstances, whatever the vulnerability. So it's not an intellectual remembering. It's not trying to convince ourselves everything is impermanent or whatever. It's an understanding, and therefore it is deep. This understanding reminds us, makes it extremely clear to us. Nothing whatsoever is worth clinging on to. Why? Because it's changing. Because whatever it is, it's under the influence of so many conditions. It may be, so to speak, like this today, but later in the day, tomorrow, may have changed into some other presentation. Life is an unfolding process. Non-clinging enables us to be fully in tune with this unfolding process. When we are clinging, it becomes a blind spot. A separation, what we cling to everything else. And when we understand non-clinging, we can respond wisely to situations. With love, or with equanimity, or with clarity, or insight. We are not detaching ourselves from the field of experience. To see clearly, to know clearly. without the blind spot. Okay, thank you for lending an ear.
Today's podcast is an offering to you from our archive of freely available live daily classes. We make wisdom teachings and meditations as freely available as possible to as many people as wish to practice. You can help ensure we can continue to support a worldwide Sangha by leaving a review wherever you get your podcasts, by sharing this with someone who'd be interested, and by offering a small financial support at sangha.live/donate.